if you're saying Michigan State will not win out, then that means Michigan just needs to win out, and they're
the
going
Big Ten
to.
title. Yep. Everything like that's why today was just huge. That's why all their goals are in front of them, and this thing is playing out where as long as Michigan takes care of their business, they should be in Indy. But that's a big. You got to also take care next week too. Don't do what Ohio State almost did a few years ago and sleep on Maryland. And because you're excited about the big matchup versus Ohio State, and then you drop a game you shouldn't drop, right? So today,
I think as far as focus, this might be the most important.
Right.
This might be the most important week for Michigan football.
Yeah,
because if you in at the end of the day, the thing that I think about is the way you look today to me doesn't matter. Right. The goal is to next week on Saturday look a little better than that. And then the next week, Saturday, look a little better than that. Like that's just the goal. Like you know what I mean? Like you don't play Ohio State today. You don't play Ohio State next week. And and until you have to line up against them, like you don't have to be better than them until then.
Yep.
So you've got to focus and get to that point. I think to me, this was such a telling game because number one, you get over that hurdle of just this team. I mean, let's take it back to last year. Granted, I know it was COVID and things were not normal, but Penn State was winless before they played Michigan. Right. And Penn State got the win. That was literally their first win of the season. Last year was against Michigan. Mm-hmm. So there's plenty of guys on this team that were there last year that had to live with that, like an 0 whatever team. I think they might have been 0-2, 0-3, whatever.
They're 0-4.
0-4 team coming to play you and you lost. Like, so there's a lot of guys that are on that team that had to live with that. And then also with the coaching staff, mainly Jim Harbaugh, you had to live with that James Franklin brought a 0-4 team to the big house and won. Mm-hmm. Like, so you know what I mean? Like, you've got that aspect of it too. And I think and maybe I'm crazy, but it could be a breakthrough when it comes to the Cade development, because I don't think it'd be understated to say that we haven't done a great job of developing Cade McNamara, and in part with this JJ subbing and package and all that stuff. So, maybe this is the breakthrough or the turning point of the offense to where it says, okay, listen, we're not going to put all of this on Cade, but we know that when we go to him, like he can come through for us. Like, so I don't know. I have no idea. Like, right. We could be saying all this and then next week could potentially lose to Maryland and all this is out the window. But at the same time too, it could be the turning point. You know what I mean? Like, it's college football. Like, it's crazy. That's kind of how it happens.
Yeah, I mean, and right now, and if you see my eyes peel away a little bit, because I have the Ohio State Purdue game. I mean, like, look, I mean, it would be insane for Purdue to be Ohio State again. In general, would be insane. But 3 wins, that would be against top touchdown Purdue. Wow, they just tried to tie the game in first quarter. Yeah.
Was it David Bell?
It wasn't David Bell, but he made the big play before.
That dude is, man.
He's insane. I mean, look, I know we're talking about Michigan, but this is one of those games where I don't think Ohio State's going to do this against Purdue. But it could. I mean, look, man, because if there's any team, I don't think there's any team in the country that's playing with more confidence than Purdue right now. No, I'm serious. Like, if you really think about it, like playing with with the season they have had, the type of wins they've had, you can't tell those players nothing, that there's no one that they can't beat. And rightfully so. I mean, like, you can't think about how we look at it as fans of football and who Purdue is as a program. I'm talking about inside that locker room. With the type of wins they've had this year, they feel like we can beat anyone. And so this is a huge game. I know Michigan fans are also watching this game as we speak. This is huge. But we had to take care of our business. And, next week, it has to be a business. It has to be all business. Get Maryland. When we play Maryland, no playing around. No turnovers, and let's get ready for next week.
That game is a 3:30 kick, thank the Lord. So we are not going to have a midnight post game, which I definitely appreciate.
Yes.
So I'm excited. I'm very excited. So I'm going to jump into a couple questions. So here's one. It says, in all honesty, do we have a better chance of beating the Buckeyes this year? And I will dive into this first, and then you can hop in. My thought on this was, to me, I don't think the chance is any better today than it was when the season started. And here's why I say this. I think CJ Stroud, I'm not saying he's a bad quarterback by any stretch of the imagination, but what I am saying is he's not Justin Fields, he's not JT Barrett, he's not Braxton Miller. So he's not a guy that, to me, Ryan Day would feel comfortable putting the game on his shoulders and having him go out and win the game for Ohio State.
Right.
And for that reason, I think, yes, you've got a shot. Like, it, to me, this is the best shot you've had in probably the last 6 years, something like that. I mean, that would 16, be my thought
16,
of it.
Yeah, 16, I would say.
I mean, that would be my thought. Dre, what's your thoughts on this question?
Yeah. I mean, the one thing I've said, and it all goes back to the quarterback, CJ Stroud. Like I've said this since the Minnesota game, his first game, is that he's immensely talented. This is not a talent thing. No, but something about him, he doesn't strike me having the moxie and composure that the last few OSU quarterbacks have. Like he seems a little bit shaky at times. He doesn't have the swagger and the confidence that a lot of OSU quarterbacks have. He may be just as talented or more talented in certain aspects, but like most OSU quarterbacks over the last few years have a certain like swagger and confidence about them. And it's hard to rattle them. We've seen it as Michigan fans. We've gotten to their backups in game, and their backups would beat us, just like the Stars would. Shout out to Dwayne Haskins.
One thing that I look at, and maybe I overanalyze things, is the quarterback their eyes? Because that's all, you know what I mean? When you're the quarterback, the camera's always on you. But like when I look at, JT and Justin, like when they're looking to the sideline, like it's just a normal, like, they're looking. But when I saw Stroud, especially against Oregon, like when he's looking at the sideline, he's got like the big eyes, which makes me think that he is like either nervous or concerned, or like it's just not a like I'm normal, I'm cool, like everything's fine. It's
just not full. His confidence isn't full. It's just not there. You can just tell. Like I never feel like he makes decisions with conviction. Like I'm very confident with this decision. He just seems like I feel like honestly Ryan Day's offensive genius and philosophy, and also leaning on really, really good talented receivers, veteran receivers, mind you, and Olave and Wilson really helps him out. Like in key situations like 3rd and 3, 3rd and 4, he's going to go into Olave or he's going to Wilson, right? Because they're going to be open. Then they're going to find a way to find a nice soft spot in a zone or man-to-man, find a way to beat their guy. And he's going to look for them. He's going to get them the ball, right? But I think just him as an individual quarterback, I don't think I think he has a ways to go. And I think if you're going to get him this year, he may come in next year fully, together.
But essentially Justin Fields 2.0.
Yes. But this year, you can, I mean, especially with this defensive line, and Des, I texted you this when I was frustrated during the game. It would have been a shame. It'll be a shame to waste a season in which you have 2 pass rushers and Ajabo and Hutchinson who are legitimate first-round picks. Not even legitimate. They will be first-round picks.
Yes,
right?
That's happening.
Even the good programs don't normally have 2 pass rushers that go in the first round every year. Not all the time. Like this is you have to take advantage. And if there's one thing I am confident in, is if the secondary is hold up a little bit and not get totally burnt off the line of scrimmage. That and Ohio State's offensive line has struggled at times. We can get in that backfield and we can rattle CJ. And one thing he's going to do, he will make mistakes.
That O-line is going to struggle with Michigan's D-line because they're just that good. Like on third downs, like they are that good. Like they're going to struggle with that unless you're talking about going 7-man protection. And I'm not sure Ryan Day's willing to do that, but we'll see. So I think a lot of that game is going to be the schematics, like really make it scheming guys open, scheming protections, rolling, your quarterback out, things like that, that kind of play into the D linemen and things like that. Early on too, in this game, we're kind of talking about the D line and the pass rush. It was the fifth play of the game, and it was a 2nd and 22. Ojabo just got a sack, and Penn State had the ball, 2nd and 22. And I saw that Michigan, like, they pulled him out. Like, and granted, I get that, Corey had told me via Twitter, he's not an every down player. And I get that, but 2nd and 22, like that is in most cases a passing down.
Absolutely.
Like, so I thought that was odd to not have him in there. Like, even if he's not an every down guy, great. Well, if you put him in, and I don't know. I just thought that was weird as far as that.
Well, for one, I understand what you're saying, because in 2nd and 22, the offense is looking for a chunk play to make it more manageable on 3rd down. On the flip side, you're thinking like, okay, well, if I can get him any kind of spell, this would be a good opportunity to do it.
Because the 5th play of the game, Dre.
No, I understand. I'm just.
You know what I mean? Like I understand what you're saying, but that'd be more so if we're talking, early 4th quarter. Like, let me get him a blow.
Yeah.
So that's the 5th play of the game. You shouldn't need a spell at all.
Yeah, you're right.
Like, go get him.
Yeah,
like you just got 1 sack. Go get another one. Like that. There's no better time for a D lineman to get his 2nd sack than the play after getting his 1st sack. That's literally the best time to go get it.
Yeah, the confidence is high. The confidence is
right.
Real
he's going crazy, going nuts. Like, I would have liked to see him stay, but is what it is.
Those two are playing just lights off football.
Dude, it's unreal, man.
And, I mean, like, and you just have no chance, because like if you chip one, the other one's coming. Like they're both playing. I mean, you don't see 2 pass rushers on a defense both playing in a high clip like this very often.
No.
I mean, it's an absolute terror. You got
2 NFL defensive linemen on your team right now. Yeah, that's what you have.
First round, like guys who, I mean, like the way they're both have really good technique, physically gifted, and high motors.
Mm-hmm.
They both have the makeup to be 10 sack players also on the next level, which is why they're going to be drafted in the 1st round. You draft defensive ends in the 1st round to be at least 10 sack guys, right? And they both have that potential. They're fantastic. They're fantastic. Mm-hmm. And it's not just they're getting to the quarterback; they're also creating turnovers. Strip sacks.
That is the key. It's one thing to sack a guy on 3rd and 10.
Get turnovers.
It's another thing to strip sack and get the ball back for your offense. Like that. It's a game changer,
especially for an offense, mind you, that just isn't very explosive. They're just not. So, like that's why those plays are huge. And yeah, man, you just got to give a ton of credit to that they're playing really well right now. You take care of Maryland. I don't care how Ohio State looks right now. You present a legitimate issue for them. Now, if there were areas of caution. Right, today we talked about it, and Penn State earlier was able to do it, and also later. The best way to move the ball and be effective against this Michigan defense is to go up tempo and to keep them on their heels.